How do we heal from our childhood trauma? We've all experienced things as kids growing up, but what are the steps we can take to be free in our adult lives? We've all experienced trauma growing up. There's no way to get around it, whether it's from our own family, from friends that we associate with, from caregivers that may not have been in our family. All of those experiences that we have as we're growing up shape how we interpret the world around us. And so there are steps that you can take to be free from experiences that may have been traumatizing to you as a small little person in a grown up world where you are trying to make sense of things. So I'm going to walk you through the steps that you can take to free yourself from that experience or those experiences that have maybe carried into your adult life and shape the decisions that you make now and free you from that going into the rest of your life. So I will say there are all kinds of experiences that we can have as we're little people growing up. We are, babies and just taking in our environment like a computer program. We're in theta state, which is a state of being more in a receptive mode. So whatever happens, we take it into our system and are not able to discern things. We are experiencing everything that is being done around us, that is being said to us, and whatever those experiences that we have are until we're 7 or 8 years old, and we are programmed like a computer program during those years. So if we're told empowering things, or if we are told disempowering things, or experiences happen to us that take our power from us or are the opposite of love and caring, we have those experiences in our subconscious mind that we need to address in whatever way we can as we're older and have the ability to address them. So part of the process is to acknowledge those things that have happened to you in life that were painful. So I encourage you to get a notebook and take a pen and write down everything that happened that you can remember was painful, uncomfortable, um, may have been inappropriate, that you know at this point in your life that that shouldn't have happened to you at that time in your life growing up. It can be a whole wide variety of things. Um, we can sometimes tell ourselves that our childhood was perfect. I mean, I did that for the longest time, had the perfect childhood, had, um, a happy childhood. And then as I got older and started living more of my life, realized it wasn't exactly the way I had framed it in my mind. And I probably did that just out of protection of myself because I wasn't ready and able to process things that had been said or things that had been done while I was younger. So if you can take a sheet of paper and just by yourself write down every person, place, thing, experience, anything that was hurtful about that experience, and just let yourself remember those things. Um, then the next thing would be next to each of those, write down how did that person, that experience, that thing, that experience, how did that make you feel? What were the feelings that were created as a result of that experience? Because we're going to have had, if it's a memory that you're able to recall, there are feelings connected with that experience. These are the feelings that I experienced as a result of it. Then once you've done that, look at what did you connect with that experience? What did that mean? Because this thing happened, I felt this way, therefore it means this. So it could be anything. I'll make something up. It could be You had a young childhood friend who was I won't even call them a friend, someone that was an acquaintance who was a bully. And so that person, what they did to hurt you was they always picked on you or bullied you. And how that made you feel was it made you sad. It made you feel like disempowered, like you didn't have a say in what was happening around you. And what you made that mean at that time was either you weren't liked, you weren't likable, um, you were different from everyone else, whatever those thoughts were, or what you've connected with that situation meaning, write that down. And write down each of those experiences that you can remember back to as early as you can remember. This is a process, so it's not going to be an overnight thing that you can do, but it is how you can free yourself, the steps you can take to be free. The next thing you're going to do is look through all of those things that happened and prioritize them. And whatever kind of prioritization you want to use, A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and look at those experiences and which were the most impactful to you, and just like number them. The next thing you're going to do to next to each of them is identify how that experience has played out in your adult life. Like, what did that experience do that rippled through and is rippling through the rest of your adult experiences? Because the things that happen to us when we're younger, we tend to carry them forward into our adult life, whether it's decisions that we make about people that we are around, things that we do, risks that we take, jobs that we entertain or commit to do, um, commitments in relationships that we make, whether we choose to have children or not have children, or whatever those experiences are. Those life events and life choices that we make are driven by the small day-to-day events that we experienced as little children. So once you prioritize that list, then take the first one on your list and you're going to write a letter to that person, that experience, that situation. You're going to write about how that made you feel. Now, you're not going to give this letter to the person or to whoever was involved. This is just for your own personal healing. Write everything about that situation. When this happened, when you did this to me, when this situation happened, I felt like this. It made me feel this way. It made me want to do this, or because of that, it has now made me not want to get involved in relationships, or it has made me not feel comfortable taking risks in these kinds of situations. Now, this could be everything from you almost drown as a child. It could be a parent that abused you. It could be a sibling that hurt you. It could be friends that befriended you. It could be a childhood pet that died. Anything that hurt you, that made you alter yourself and your emotions in some kind of a way that affected your being free and open. These ultimately were things that chipped away at our heart or shattered some belief that we had about the world being safe, about people being safe, about whatever it is that effect has had on you. Then once you've written that letter, you're going to write one to each of these people, situations, experiences about how that made you feel. And you're ultimately going to rip them up and ideally you burn them to be free of those experiences and what that did and has done to your life. The list, though, what you want to do is also look at, as part of those experiences, what did you learn from that experience? What were the good things that you have taken away from that? In some cases, there may be nothing really good that you can take away from it. But if you look hard enough, there may be, an experience that you can say, because this happened, I now am really brave in this way because I know, or I'm more discerning in knowing who is a good person or who's a safe person, who's an unsafe person. But you want to be able to write down everything that you can remember, how it made you feel, what was, the outcome of that experience, what, if anything, did you learn. Write a letter to that person, that experience, or that situation, and ultimately rip it up, be free of it, and burn it. Because we've got to free ourselves from those experiences and know that that experience does not define who you are. It may define how you've shown up in the world, because we are meaning making machines. So if something happens to us, we then attached a meaning to that. Because this thing happened, that must mean that this is the scenario. So I'll use myself as an example. I had a very critical father. Now, he ultimately, I think in the end, loved me. I know he loved me, but he never was able to express it and never was able to show it in his actions, and in fact was the opposite. So was very critical of me and would say very damaging things that you would never want to say. I mean, I would never say the things that were said to me. I would never say them to another child, let alone any other person. But understanding, I went back to understand his upbringing and the fact that his father died when he was very young, and he had to grow up as a 7-year-old, literally, and was not shown how to parent, how to love, how to be loving to another child, because he was never shown that himself. So that lesson to me was, I was out to show. I turned lemons into lemonade. So whatever it was that was said to me, I was out to, let me show you. I will show you. You say this thing, like, I will show you how good I am, how smart I am, how capable I am, how I'm able to overcome that. I'm able to do whatever that is that you're thinking I can't do. I'll show you. And so I turned it into a superpower. And so I've had to look at that as that experience wasn't necessarily something that broke me. It was actually something that shaped me and helped me become the strong person that I am today. Would I have preferred to have had a more loving, supportive, verbally expressive father? Yes, I would have loved that. The fact that that didn't happen, that just shaped me into the person that I am, and I was able to turn that into a positive. So, we've all got experiences like that with people and experiences. I mean, I could share many more stories of how things that have happened have shaped me into who and how I am. But my encouragement to you is to know that you have all of those same superpowers. And it's a matter of us looking at what happened, taking ourselves out of the victim mode, because none of us are like going through something. We are growing through something. So it can be difficult, uncomfortable, painful, shouldn't have happened. In many cases, things that happen when we're little should have never happened. There's no excuse, no reason ever for some of the things that happen to us when we're little to have happened. However, we want to take our power back and reintegrate ourselves into our strongest self. And what that means is looking at and identifying what actually happened, and identifying how that made us feel, identifying what did I learn from that, what were the things that I took away from that, and how can I look and shift that into a more positive, and how that has helped me grow as a person, and it may be, I know I will never do that to another person, or I will help other people who have experienced something like that, because I don't ever want that to be a wound for someone else that they don't know how to free themselves from. And, write a letter about it, rip it up, burn it, and set yourself free and reintegrate all the parts of you that are the mosaic of your beautiful self, because you at your core are love, and you have survived all the things that have happened to you because you have love at your core, and you are here, on this planet at this time during this ascension to shine your light. We need all of us to shine our light as bright as we can and to embrace love and heal those wounds that are at our core, at our, little self that we were at one point, and be free from that in our adult self so that we can recreate other experiences and be free in this lifetime. So I'm sending you all love and light, and just take your time working through this process. I mean, I've gone through it a few times in various different versions and different experiences, but I know that it works because I've freed myself from experiences and things that happened as I was a younger person growing up, that had I not done that, I wouldn't be smiling. I wouldn't be able to carry the light that I carry and the love that I feel for the rest of the planet as we're going through such a dark time, and bringing light every day to, in a space of gratitude for everything that has happened up to this point, and gratitude for all the things that I'm grateful for. So a final recommendation is every day, start your day with, what am I grateful for? What are the things that I am thankful for as I'm going through my day, and I carry that forward with me. So again, I'm sending you love and light, and encourage you to just take your time, feel your feelings, walk through whatever it is that you're feeling that comes up for you as you're going through your list of things that have happened that shouldn't have happened when you were little, and just know that you can be free from that, and you just need to put in the work. If you have questions about it as you're going through it, just message me, Heart Awakening Love 111 at gmail.com. It's in my description below, and I just encourage you to heal your heart, heal your life, and be free.